I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Good morning, curling fans, and welcome to the Saville Grand Prix here in Edmonton, Alberta. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. My name is Matt Sussman. I'll be providing the action here in the quarterfinals of this big event. All 8 sheets contain all of the playoff teams for all the men's and women's qualifiers. And we have a really interesting matchup here between Team Kerri Einarson, based out of Manitoba, and the young junior team skipped by Myla Plett here in Edmonton. Einarson winning hammer with the last shot draw prior to this game. Both of these teams finished 3-1 in pool play. And as fortune had it, they were both in the same pool. So these teams are very familiar with each other. And it was Team Plet that came out victorious in their matchup yesterday, 5-3, which was a wonderful game you saw here on Curling Stadium. The lineups for the teams, if you are not aware, we'll start with Team Einarson. You've got Kristen Karwacki throwing lead stones. You have Joanne Courtney being a sub for them this weekend, throwing second. Val Sweeting at third, and Kerri Einarson in the house. On the other side, throwing yellow stones, you have Ali Iskew at lead. Louis Duke throwing second stones. Alyssa Nedowin at third, and Myla Plett calling the game. So this first end, very similar to the first end in their game yesterday. Just trading shots up and down the ice, getting familiar with the sheet. All of the games this weekend are broadcast on Curling Stadium, as mentioned. On the women's side, we have Constantini from Italy and Vrana from Sweden. We have Kitazawa from Japan and Ha from South Korea. Eunjin Kim and the Garlic Girls from South Korea playing Caitlin Laws, and then this game as well. Winner of this game will advance and will play at 10:30 Mountain Time. And the championship will be here at 2:30. So this young team, skipped by Myla Plett, as mentioned, very impressive in their game against Einarson yesterday. And it's actually the second time they've beaten Einarson in as many matchups. Both games also had a 5-3 score. First time they played them was at the Saville Shootout back in September. Einarson's lineup at the time only had 3 people in it. They had not yet found their spare. Doesn't really matter if you can beat them the first 2 times. You're here in the quarterfinals. I don't think a lot of people expected this young team to be here, but they are. They're just going to have to beat Einarson one more time if they want to advance. Winner of this game will play the winner of Kim versus Laws. As Joanne Courtney makes a nice slash double to clear the house, avoiding any chance of a force. Shots like that keep you in this game. So if you're watching from around the world, let us know in the chat. We have some fans really from everywhere. We've got someone tuning in from Newfoundland, someone from Vancouver Island. We have someone down in the States, San Francisco Bay Area. We're all glad to have you here. Yesterday's matchup was watched by many of you around the world, so glad to see several Einarson fans and probably some new Plet fans as well. I will say that I will stay impartial because these are both great games. Although my partner Lauren did want to pass along, tell her I love Kerri. I don't know if Kerri can hear me. It's unlikely she can. But if she goes back and watches this game, then she'll be able to hear it. We also have someone watching from Italy, all the way across the pond. This is a global sport. So if you have been following, Team Einarson has, for the first time, will not be representing Canada in the Scotties. They will likely wear a different color uniform there, but they've also been working through some lineup changes. Joanne Courtney's here because of the injury to Shannon Burchard, and then Brianne Harris being ineligible for positive test for a banned substance. So Kristen Karwacki coming up at lead. They've talked about Laura Walker stepping in at second. They've had Dawn McEwen at the last Grand Slam. Joanne Courtney will stay with this team this coming week. It's a short turnaround for them, but starting Tuesday, they're going to stay in town, just drive south of Edmonton to Nisku, Alberta, and start the Canadian Open. Joanne will be there with them for that, instead of in the booth. So we're down to skip stones here. Blank looking very possible. Almost inevitable. There's a little bit of shrapnel in the back of the sheet there. I don't think that's going to come into play too badly. It would be super unfortunate. Here's Kerri's first. So this young Myla Plett team is coached by David Nedowin, who is, of course, the father of Alyssa Nedowin, currently holding the broom in the house right now. May have seen him out during practice, helping out the team. Might see him come out during one of the timeouts as well. They used him a couple times yesterday. Certainly he's seen a lot of big games himself and won many of his fair share. So with 15 rocks being thrown, it all comes down to a regular routine hit and roll out. No panic on the sweepers here. And that should take care of it. So blank in the first, we go to the second.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
What do you got? You got one, you got two, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
You're back here. Second end. Here at the Saville Grand Prix in Edmonton, Alberta. This is a quarterfinal. Win in advance. Lose and I don't care where you go, but you can't stay here. You could stay here and watch the other games. So second end looking similar to the first. Action in the house. This young team trying to force the action. Trying to keep it clean as possible. Don't want too many complicated ends. If you're confident in your shot making ability, you want to keep it simple. You know you can throw just as good as the other team, even though they have more experience. Shot from Ali Askew is going to hit and roll out. So that will give Kerri a chance for the delayed corner. Kristen Karwacki throwing lead stones here. Had excellent Scotties earlier this year, all things considered. Stepping into unfamiliar territory. For the foreseeable future is now the lead for this team. So the corner is up. Plet will try to draw action away from that corner. This team here, this young team from Edmonton, was the Canadian Junior Champions back in 2023. They still are eligible to compete. Also participated in U25 events. If you're U21, you're also U25. It's simple math, honestly. So Einarson choosing to ignore that rock in the side of the forefoot. They used the corner that they placed perfectly. Joanne Courtney's first rock here. This Plet team also participated in a junior event in Prague, finishing with a bronze medal. So they've played many events here in Edmonton, but they are no strangers to traveling themselves. Pretty good come around there by Joanne Courtney. Chance to freeze on it. Chloe Fadouk throwing second stones. Waiting for that to finish. Got plenty of speed. Just a little bit of a bump. Those corner freezes, oh, they make them look so easy. Few extra feet of weight makes all the difference in those. Let's still sit in the 2, though. You'd love to hit this and roll a little bit inside under the guard. Looks like they're going to go the other way, roll underneath. Not a bad result. They are second and third, but both of the rocks are under cover somewhere. Getting a little dangerous for Plet here. I'd hate to give up a big score. Corner freeze to that one. I don't think you're going to be second shot out of it. Wheels starting to turn in those analytical brains, so many options. I think they have settled on the freeze. Let's see if Alyssa Nedowin can lock it on there. Sweeper's working this one real hard, making sure that it can get there. Does it have enough gas? Should drag it into the 8-foot, and that is a wonderful freeze shot. Does not disturb the stone underneath, and It looks like it's third shot, but that rock's not going anywhere. That is going to stay there for a while. Very good team shot there. Kerri will have no choice but to freeze on it herself. Val Sweeting, the lefty. Trying to hold it there for line. It's got enough speed, and that is going to freeze as well. Nice little shot there. So again, Einarson is second and third. They are lined up a little interestingly with the yellow being sandwiched. And Val's rock being completely open. You could double them off. Would it even triple? Chance here to make some rocks fly. Listen, Netowin. Sweeper's picking her right up out of hand. Now they're off. What do you got? 1, 2. That's a nice little result there. Both Reds go. Plet now sitting 2. That is going to leave something. Should leave a double back. Don't know if you can get first and second shot yellow rocks out of here. Either way, they are going to make a play on the one just thrown. Val Sweeting for a hit and maybe a little bit of a roll. That one's going to over curl, go under cover. Let's still sit in 1. Could come into play though. What do you do if your team Plet? They're going to come down and talk about it. None of the Einarson stones are easily removable, which is the challenge. You're sitting first and third. It's a flat double, but it's one Kerri has in her back pocket if necessary. Saw the motion of guard as a possibility. It looks like they're going to instead play slightly higher risk, higher reward shot. Tap back their shot stone. If this is made perfectly, they'll be sitting 3 when all is said and done. These are the types of shots I think they know they need to make. They can't play it safe against a team like this. You could guard. I don't think that's wrong either. Here's Myla Plett's first. Picked right up out of hand. And this one's going to over curl, but it is going to clip the stone covered. Roll to the side of the button. But that is not going to remove. There's a Einarson rock just biting the back 12. And now there's an easier double. And Einarson here suddenly with a big chance for 3. Still 3 rocks to come in this end. I don't think that was the result that Myla wanted with that. That one over curled on her. That was either down weight or inside a broom. Kerri doesn't have to throw this one all that hard. She actually probably wants this one a little more down so it doesn't possibly bounce over top and out. Any little piece of that shot stone should be made. Yeah, it's looking good. 1-2. Beautiful shot by Kerri Einarson. She is now sitting 3 with last rock. Danger zone here for Myla Plett. What can you do? There's no double really anywhere. They are Christmas treed, as they like to say, meaning each rock's overlapped a little bit by the one in front of it. Imagine each of those rocks being ornaments on the side of a Christmas tree. It is November, so you are allowed to talk about Christmas and refer to it, with Halloween being over. That's the rule. This may be a good opportunity to bring out the coach if they so chose, even though it's the second end. What can you do? You can't really hide anywhere unless you freeze, and if you freeze, you don't make it great. Suddenly you're giving up 4. But they are going to go for it. They are electing to freeze. This is risky. This bounces off at all. Team Plet has beaten Einarson twice, as mentioned before. Both were also by the exact same score, 5-3. So if they can't make this freeze perfectly, very good chance Einarson can score more in this end than they've ever done against Plet in a single game. Here's Plet's final stone, looking for a really good freeze. Not much from the sweepers yet. They're not even close to it. They're not touching it. It is... Looks like it's gonna bounce just a little bit. Yes. Now. It is shot stone, so it is gonna have to be played on. It's not real frozen. They can easily peel this out and score 3. They might be able to squeak it out past the one in the back and get 4. It's really an easy shot for 3. That's the main thing here. So Einarson with a chance to take a commanding lead here in the second end. Needs to make this yellow rock go away. Joanne working it hard right out of hand. Now they're both on it. And that will get right out. It does clip the one in the back, but that is going to be a big 3-point end for Einarson, taking a 3-0 lead going into the third end.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Back here in the third end of the Saville Grand Prix in Edmonton, Alberta. My name is Matt Sussman, bringing you a commentary for this game. So Kerri Einarson has just had fits with this young team for the 2 games that she's played Plet this season, and finally broke through with a big 3-ender. Had a chance for 4. She'll certainly take the 3. That's as many points as she scored against them in one game ever. So for Team Plet, you park that end, come back, try to get a couple back yourself. It's way better to give up 3 in the second than it is in the 6th or 7th. A lot of game left here. Einarson setting up for the rock in the forefoot to cover it. Couldn't quite get that to curl and finish enough. So a chance here for Ali Iskew to hit the rock in the house and roll under their corner. And that will go under really nice. A chance for Einarson to come back and chase that rock. Joanne Courtney with her first. And that is going to crash on the corner guard. Don't think that was the call there. It's going to go undercover, back 4. Opportunity here for Plet early in this. See if they can apply some pressure right back. Chloe Fadouk with her first. Will settle around the guard quite nicely. They are sitting the 3. No doubles quite available yet. They can certainly get one of these, perhaps. It's a thin double, but that is what Joanne is being asked to do here. At least get one out of there. There's one, and there's two. Nice thin double there. Gets them out of trouble. They might even be shot, hard to tell. Doesn't matter either way, the call is still the same. Difficult hit because you can't roll under the corner like you'd like to. It does roll a few inches over. Still a good position for Team Plet. They are sitting to 2. Kerri is going to need someone to make a good one. If they can get underneath that center guard with the roll, they ought to be shot. Joanne Courtney staying with this one all the way. That's going to hit the stone intended, but it is going to roll the other way. Question for Team Plet, do they want to make a play on that one? Do they want to go underneath? Might even have an opportunity to roll under that corner. That's probably what they'd love, but there's not a lot of space. If you play it quiet, you could certainly do that. These are those tough little shots. They're backbreakers. If you can master those hack weight, board weight shots, then it opens up a whole world of possibilities. Just got to have that touch. So Alyssa Netowin. This one's not going to go underneath the corner. It is going to roll. It's rolling all the way out on the other side. Much of that is exposed. Possible chance for a double here. Chance for a double. I don't think you'd stick your shooter. And that would certainly let Plet draw under their corner again, but this is the opportunity they've been waiting for. Team Einarson this end. See if Al Sweeting can make 2 yellows disappear. Gets by the guard. Hits one stone, misses the other. That over-curled just a little bit, but it did stay there for second shot. Stayed right there. There is a little bit of space to roll underneath. So if Alyssa can, again, dial that weight down a little bit, might be able to get a little bit of a roll, but she needs to get completely under, or Val Sweeting's going to have the exact same shot. This one needs to move. Chloe Fadouk trying to wheel it over. She is going to miss her own. Get it through, punch it through, sit in the 2. This one's a little bit further out, a little bit higher up. Down to skip stones now. I think one of the questions is, even if Kerri does hit that stone and roll under, will she be shot? She needs to be fully in the 4. Maybe a piece of the button. And if not, you might just make a go at the slash double. That looks to be the call. Kerri Einarson looking for the double. Trying to hold this one. Can she get them both? One. Oh, just whizzes right by it. Joanne Courtney can't hold that straight. No one else can. So a chance for Myla Plett to draw around. There's a possibility for a 3. You certainly expect if this draw is made, Kerri may take a go at the run. It's not what she would like to do this early in, but there's probably not a better way to... She would unlikely to call a freeze at this point. First things first, though, she needs to make this draw, get underneath. Pressure's trying to bring this one in. Starting to die. Can you drag it in for second shot? Can you get it in at all? It just barely touches paint. Slightly covering that out-turn counterclockwise side, but that is going to leave the in-turn draw. So big chance there to put the pressure on Kerri. Comes up about 3-4 feet light. That's all. Tolerance for error in this shot. The call is the freeze for Einarson with her last. Anything in the 4 foot's really good, though. Just running on him a little bit. Going to carve it over. Can they get it over? Can they get it over? And that's going to bounce. And it is going to be shot. It is not the freeze they were looking for, though. And that is going to mean Myla Plett will have a chance for an open hit and stick. Potentially get 2 of the points back. If he absolutely had to have it, there is a double for 3. This is not the time for that, though. You don't need the 3 back right away. You take the simple 2 and you go to the next end. So very smart call here. So here's Plet's last rock. Just needs a simple hit and stick. Chloe and Allie picking her right up out of hand. No worries whatsoever. No need to panic. That is a hit and stick, and that is 2 points for Plet. She is crawled to within 1 point, but Einarson will take the hammer into the fourth end.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Join us this March for the House of Hearts Charity Bonspiel in Duluth, Minnesota. Help raise funds for Project Joy, who provides meals for hungry kids in our community. Every donation helps to ensure no child goes hungry. Join us and make a difference. Together, we
Fourth end starting here at the Saville Grand Prix in Edmonton, Alberta. In the last end, we saw Myla Plett have a easy shot. Easy in quotes. Still an important shot. Hit and stick for 2. Was in control for most of that end. Had a chance possibly for more, but she'll take the 2. Staying well within this game. They are not going away quietly. Against the 4-time Canadian champions from Manitoba, led by Kerri Einarson. When you think about games like this, what's so great about this sport, you have a team that's won 4 national championships, and they're playing a team that hasn't even been to the Scotties yet. This team based out of Edmonton. They do have a junior national title. Really wouldn't see something like this in other sports. They are impressing a lot of people. But Kerri Einarson does have a 1-point lead and last rock here in the fourth. Kerri would love to keep things as simple as possible. Allie Askew takes that stone and removes it. Still mostly open. Chance for Kristen Karwacki to respond. Get a nice little hack waiter here. Try to duck under cover. And this is a quarterfinal match, so the winner of this will advance. The loser will be done for the day and for the weekend. Bring some score updates for the rest of the quarterfinal games. The winner of this game will play the winner of Eunjung Kim versus Caitlin Laws. That is a 1-0 game in the third. Ikue Kitazawa and Sungyun Ha from South Korea. That is Kitazawa with a 1-0. Haven't updated the scores since the first, but that is a close game. And then in the other game, Isabella Vrana from Sweden had a big steal of 5 against Stefania Constantini from Italy. So they're in command of that game. And the men are also on the ice as well. 4 games there. We have Kevin Cooey is up 3-2 on Keenan Whipf. We have Corey Dropkin from the USA with a 2-1 lead over Evan Van Amsterdam. Takumi Maeda from Japan is up 4-0 on James Balance after 2. And Yusuke Morizumi from Japan has a 2-1 lead on Zach Davies. Back to this game, though. This is a battle of who can hit and roll under the center guard first. We had an end like this yesterday as well, where everyone just seemed to nose the rock and couldn't quite get the roll they needed. We're getting to the point where you just may hit this rock so much you're just going to be another guard. Little roll should be in the house, though. This rock from Chloe Fadouk is not curling. It's just a little bit hot. That is going to hit and roll out. So, chance here for Kerri to finally make a play on that center guard. Turn it into a corner, something she can use. Even if she does hit it out, I'm sure she'd be okay with that. Joanne Courtney, the super spare. Played for Rachel Homan's team for a number of years. But she is also reunited here with Val Sweeting. They were Scotty's finalists. So she just, instead of getting the corner, she does hit and roll out. That's a fine result for them. Nothing in play now. Looking very much like a blank. It's Alyssa Nedowin's first rock. Those of you who have watched curling for a number of years, the Nedowin name is familiar to you. In fact, this team from Edmonton, Team Plet, is coached by Alyssa's father, David Nedowin. He may come out on the ice in a timeout. You might see him. And also Alyssa's mother, Heather Nedowin. Longtime curler, longtime Scotties competitor and champion, and one-time coach of Team Einarson. It's a small community here. It's a global sport, but it's a small community at the same time. So Team Plet is just going to try to see if they can find a spot in the ice where a corner guard can't be hit, but I think they're going to struggle to locate somewhere to put this where it can't be just taken right out. Right, try a different spot here and there, one side of the center line versus the other. This one's just going to walk right into the top of the house. Val Sweeting looking to hit and roll to the wing. This one is pretty much on line. Gets a little bit of a roll like they were looking for. Einarson in control of this game with the lead and the last rock advantage. As much as they would love to continue playing, get into the semifinals, get into the finals, they're not going to have much of a rest. They will have tomorrow off. And then Tuesday, they will travel just south of Edmonton and start the Grand Slam Canadian Open. Joanne Courtney will join them for that event. And Kerri's team did struggle a little bit to start the season, but it is a long season and you don't want to make too much out of results in September. They bounced back nicely, winning a Grand Slam prior to this. So they seem very much in mid-season form. They got their hands full with this young team from Edmonton. I think win or lose, they'll be very happy that they won't have to play this team for quite a while. I think the feeling is mutual for Team Plet as well. I'm sure they're thrilled at how they're playing against them, but boy, I don't think you want to play Kerri Einarson twice a weekend. I know I don't. The final stone for Myla Plett. Just sit on top edge of the house. Should be a routine hit and roll out. This has been a very well-played game thus far. The blank attempt for Kerri Einarson. Joanne Courtney just escorting it down. No sweat. And our second blank of the game will take us out of the first half and into the second half of this game. Einarson up 3-2 with hammer.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for.
Welcome back to the fifth end of this quarterfinal match of the Saville Grand Prix in Edmonton, Alberta, presented by Curling Stadium. My name is Matt Sussman, bringing you the ins and outs of what's happening on the ice. I'd also like to give a big thank you to James, working the production, providing way more value than whatever I'm doing. Excellent camera work. Keeping up to date on the scores, how many rocks are left. Probably some other things I don't know. It's a team effort here. These two teams here, speaking of teams. Kerri Einarson from Manitoba, scoring a 3-ender in the first. Also had hammer 2 other times, blanked the first, blanked the fourth. Myla Plett making the most of the advantage of her last rock, scoring 2 in the third. And it didn't look like it coming in, but these are two very evenly matched teams. Both of them went 3-1 in their pool, the same pool. with Team Plet coming out advantageous in their matchup yesterday. But they've got some work to do here. They're down 1. They don't have last rock. Need to find a way to force Einarson into a single or somehow get a steal. Chance here to hit and roll. Ellie Iskew, and that's going to roll a little bit too far. Kristen Karwacki, for the foreseeable future, the lead for this team. Stepped in nicely, looking to move that rock in the back of the 12. No gut check time for Team Plet. They'd love to make a play on that red, but they also need to steal. I'm going to go counterclockwise turn, see if they can get around that way. Fadouk trying to draw around that center guard, looking to finish it as much as they can, and that's just going to tuck a little piece underneath. You see the scoreboard behind the competitors. And that is what I call a baseball-style scoreboard. A lot of times at curling clubs, you'll have a scoreboard where you hang the ends rather than the points, and you try to explain it to a newcomer, and it's more trouble than it's worth. I've seen so many people, very intelligent people, that just can't wrap their heads around a curling-style scoreboard. So this one being much more accessible, you're hanging the points. So Joanne Courtney just able to slip that yellow rock out undisturbed. Now sitting 2 with last rock. Chance for Chloe to respond with a little hit and roll. Nothing from the sweepers yet. Looking to push it over a little bit. And they will remove the red stone, but just sit right there. Second shot. Kerri going over the options. Could hit and roll. Could try to make the double. They're going to just go over the simple one here. They are ahead. They do not need to take the harder shots. Joanne Courtney making the hit, making the roll, rolling a little bit too far, all the way on the other side. And what would it take to get Joanne Courtney to stay on your team? She is a spare. And she did retire, but the way retirement works, you never permanently retire. We saw that with Brad Jacobs. He was retired, and now he's back. Then he was back for a little bit, and now he's got his own team. It's always a work-life balance. As that double attempt just sails by a little bit too hard. And when people do retire from curling, it is temporary, and it's usually for personal reasons, family reasons, work reasons, all good reasons. But the game never quite leaves you. We may see her back permanently at some point, but it does seem to be working with this team. And Kerri has found the right recipe of subs this season so far. Val Sweeting hitting and rolling, and now the Stones are grouped there. Routine double opportunity here for Alyssa Nedowin. Sweepers furiously working on this one. Can they hold it? Can they get him out? Overcurled a little bit. And they're trying, and no, the double is not made. That rock just squished a little bit too much. Biting the back 12. Opportunity missed here. Kerri now with a chance to hit and spread these two out as much as possible. This one's overcurling a lot, and that is going to clip the Yellowstone, take it out of the house, but it's also going to accidentally push their own out, and all of a sudden, a couple of uncharacteristic misses on both teams. Einarson now just laying the one. Still a good result, though. You'd rather be red than yellow at this point. So Plet's going to ignore that red rock in the back. You could certainly hit it, but then you're playing into the hands of Kerri and likely seeing a blank, and then you're going into the sixth end with two hammers. This is probably what you need to do. You need to force the play into the house, into the center of the forefoot. Choosing this turn because if he doesn't completely bury, there's always a jam opportunity if you try to pick it out. Chance here with Myla Plett's first. Can she find the forefoot? It's a little hot. And that will settle in under cover the back of the 8-foot. So they had the line, they didn't have the weight. Plenty of room around that guard if Kerri can slip past it and sit 2 after all said and done. Joanne working this one difficultly. A lot of force down there. And that will no, that will not push the yellow out. Another unfortunate result there. Here's a chance if Myla can hit this on the nose. She could force Kerri into a single, which would be a victory for Myla for this end. This has been an unusual end for both teams where there's been several half misses, no one quite getting exactly where they want to be, and that's why everything's in the back of the house. Myla Plett's last rock just looking for a double. If she can just bop this on the nose. That's well managed. That is well done. So with that chased tap back by Kerri on her first, not quite removing the yellow in the back 12 out of play. She is left with a hit and stick. Hitting rocks in the back of the house is always just slightly more uncomfortable than ones in front. Shouldn't be any concern for her, though. So there's her last stone. Can she hit and stick? Joanne Courtney handling this one quite well. No problem whatsoever. So that's going to be a single point on the board for Einarson. They will be up 4-2. Heading into the 6th, and Plet will have last rock.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice bat has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Don't forget your brooms.
You got it.
Come on up. Well, what do you got? You got 1, you got 2, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
We're here in the 6th end of the Saville Grand Prix quarterfinal matchup between Kerri Einarson and Myla Plett. That 5th end wasn't as immaculate as we've seen these teams do. Half misses being exchanged back and forth. Relegating Kerri to hit and stick for a single point. Giving the hammer back to Plet. We'll now have hammer at least twice in this game. Gonna need the 2 points somewhere. So center guard goes up by Kristen Karwacki. That's Ali Iskew throwing lead stones for Team Plet. The Iskew name as well may be familiar to those that have watched for a while. Former Scotties champion with Heather Netowin. That was back in 2012. This end's setting up pretty nicely for some type of score one way or the other. We've got center guard, we've got a corner guard. Karwacki trying to will this one over. Can she get that to curl up? Not quite. Distance was pretty good, but it is open. Mostly open. That second rock of hers doesn't seem to be finishing as much as the first. So Ali will just try to sit right down on top of that stone. Looking at scores elsewhere in the quarterfinal, we have one final already, and that's Isabella Vrana from Sweden. All over Stefania Constantini of Italy. That is an 8-2 victory. They conceded after just 4 ends. And the winner of this game will play the winner of Team Kim versus Team Laws. That is a tie game, 2-2. Laws has hammer going into the 5th. And Ikue Kitazawa has a 2-0 advantage over Sungyeon Ha from South Korea. So Joanne Courtney. The freeze attempt comes up a little bit light for Team Plet. Looking to close off that. Trying to get a good angle on this freeze, and that is corner frozen on the inside. Very good result. I think they got the angle enough. I don't think that's going to be very usable for Myla there. She still likes it, though. There's a possibility that if she plays quiet weight on it, yeah, backline weight, this might drag right into shot stone. Chloe Fadouk throwing second stones. Looking for backline weight. Might be a little down, but the promotion does roll that yellow stone to a pretty good position. Not bad. It's a double opportunity, but it's risky. There's some ornery stones for sure. Look, his whole team's going to come on down, take a look at it. Very, very interesting setup here. Obviously, your first thought, see what you can do. Can you get rid of those yellow stones? You're up. You don't want them to count. You don't want them to come into play. They're usable. Don't really think they're doubleable. They might be. A lot of possibilities here. Not sure what they've settled on. They are going to play on the Yellowstones. They may have been looking at making a play on their Reds. Or they could have just been discussing what Plet might have been able to do. So I think there's a chance here. If you can hit this yellow rock a little bit high, if you can squeak past the red in the top 12, there's a chance you can get both of them. Maybe we can do it. It's Joanne Courtney. Here we go. After all that discussion. Nothing yet. And that's going to touch all 4 rocks. Remove both of the reds. Leave Yellowstone side of the 8. But probably not what they were going for. A chance here for Myla Plett to split the house. It wasn't a great result for Einarson on that, but it did simplify things. So Chloe Fadouk looking to draw around. Does this have the speed? Brushers are trying to get it there. Should be in. Trying to carve it over. And that will just get under cover. Splitting the 12 and the 8. Pretty good result. Val Sweeting can still chase this. Board bumper weight ought to do the trick. Val Sweeting coming from the left hack as well. The left-hander's hack. Might have a fraction more space to make the shot. They're past the guard, carving it in. They got a piece. Can they stick around? Will it stick around? It will go a little bit too far now to play. So they did dig it out, but they couldn't stay there. And this is the exact same situation. Now for Alyssa Nedowin. Have to make this one a little bit better. Not touching it yet. There they go now. A lot of space around this guard. Oh, they don't want to. No, they're trying to take it deep now. It's going deep. And it gets under cover. However, that may leave an opportunity on the other side if they choose to make the double that way. It's a little flat. They may need to go. Yeah, they may need to go Counterclockwise. That's lefty in turn. To get the flat roll. Call here may just be to hit and roll over there. So here's Val Sweeting. Joanne picked her up right out of hand. There's one, and that is just going to sail underneath. Just miss it. Decision time for Team Plet. Do they go under that corner again? Do they use the center at all? They like the corner better. They know this. They played it. Alyssa Nettowin second. Looking for one a little bit lighter than her first. This looks like it's almost the exact same way. A lot of room around that guard. Gonna finish this one at all, make it difficult to double him. I think that does the job. Does settle in into the 4-foot. There's a chance here still for a double, though. Kerri has it in her. She's done it before. She can go over top on this one. She's going to have to hit a piece, kind of like a thin half, sort of go over top of stone in the back 8. That was a unfortunate miss there by Team Plet. Really needed the 2 here. Still has a chance for 2. So here's Kerri Einarson's first. Needs hit a little piece of this yellow and drive it back. Joanne Courtney's on the brush, and she got it. Does she have it? 1, 2, and everything's gone out of the house. Great shot by Kerri Einarson. Cleaned up the mess. Does leave Myla with 2 stones left. Can she manufacture points out of both of them? She'll need to use the center guard this time. The team's talking about it. No harm in talking about it if you're not all on the same page. Sometimes sweepers see something else. You know, it's a really much of a chess match when you can decide what you want to do. You got to figure out what is the other team going to do. And if you go around the corner, does Kerri go around the center? If you go around the center, does she freeze on you? Does she throw the run? Wish you could get inside the head of your opponent. She's not going to give you anything, though. So the team talked about it. Went over the options, and I think they're just going to go back to their first original call. Just to come around the center guard. So first stone here for Myla Plett. Looking to get around the center guard. Sweepers are trying as hard as they can. Can they get it to the house? That's important. Here comes Alyssa to spell their brusher. Can they get it there? And it does get in, but it is mostly open. So should be pretty simple for Kerri to probably just hit this and roll out. She would not mind a blank at all. Here's Kerri Einarson's last. Just needs to make the yellow go away. Hits a piece. And what happens here? Oh, that bounced off. That bounced off a yellow rock inside and just kind of ricocheted back. So they're going to try to figure out where to put this one. I think they do agree that it is in play. But it's a little interesting when that happens. They got to decide what happens here. With that, those boards, those bouncy boards on the side. So I think that they're electing to, based on where she's standing, I think she's going for the blank. She might be drawing for a single. Not quite sure. We'll know what happens in a second. And it looks like she is just drawing for the single. Last rock here for Myla Plett. Just needs to get in the 8-foot. Wants the point. We'll see if she gets there. Sweepers are not concerned at all. And they got it there. So forced to a single in the 6th. Plet is now down 4-3 and will relinquish the hammer to Kerri Einarson in the 7th. We'll be right back.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
And we're back here in the 7th end of the Saville Grand Prix quarterfinal matchup between Kerri Einarson and Myla Plett, brought to you by Curling Stadium. My name is Matt Sussman, bringing you the action of this very close game. So an interesting decision by Myla Plett, had the opportunity to blank with the hammer, down 2. Elected to draw for the single. Point was more important, with the game getting closer to the end. So she cuts the deficit in half, gives hammer back to Kerri, and is going to see what they can do to steal. Something they haven't done this game yet. Aliuskew's first 2 rocks, both on the center line. That one doesn't. Second one doesn't curl up just as much. It's open a little bit, and Kristen Karwacki has an opportunity to hit and roll, but with the no tick rule in play, safer bet to just draw and freeze on it. Freeze opportunity. Really nicely done there by Kristen. Well managed. Goal here for Plet. Get as many rocks in play as possible. Create as much difficult shots as possible. A little bit of chaos, a little bit of luck. You always need a miss here or there to steal a point. So Chloe Fadouk will try to respond to one freeze with another. If she can get that inside freeze. This freeze opportunity might be coming up a little bit light. Can they get it to curl a little bit? And it does come up a couple feet light. But no matter, Kerri is still going to start hitting stones now. Joanne Courtney. Must be nice to be able to call Joanne Courtney and say, hey, we need you for a weekend. And then for her to say, okay. So Chloe will try to move that, or replace that center guard, rather. Callie trying to get this thing to curl, needs to move. Can she get that over? Doesn't quite get to the center. Chance here to spill a bunch of rocks. Don't know if she can make all 3 go away, but if she can get a couple of them out, that's going to do a whole lot of good. Nothing yet from the sweepers. Might just be the single peel. Still some discussion in the chat about that decision to draw for a single rather than blank in the 6th. And especially with these young teams, I think what they like to do is they trust the numbers of, are you more likely to win down 1 without hammer in the 7th or down 2 with hammer in the 7th? And it may be one of those things where either they feel they have a better chance by putting a point on the board, getting hammer back, and again, it just comes down to what you feel like doing, or if they just trust the situation. I'm sure if it was one of us, we may have just forgotten the rule. It's in a club play, late Wednesday night. You forget you can blank. We've all been there. These competitors are on a different level than the rest of us. So I'm sure they've thought it through. Center guard has been replaced. Val Sweeting now trying to see if she can make the run. If she can't make the run, she could just peel the center guard. That would be a fine result. And that's what happens. Both teams exchanging shots here. There's Alyssa Nedowin's second. Sweepers aren't touching it yet. Is this going too far? This one is much deeper. That could be a little bit of a mistake. I don't think. Gonna be hard to just miss this one on this side. Chance to make all three move here. Val Sweeting's last. There's the hit. 1, 2, and they got rid of one. They got rid of the center guard. Everything's a little bit different. Does unlock everything. So Plet still sitting first and third. Einarson second and fourth. Down to Skip Stones. The call appears to be hit the red and roll over. That's done. You'll be sitting 3 and you'll be playing for the force. I'd love to steal. It doesn't look like a steal end at this point. Hit and rolls have been hard to come by. Sweepers immediately picking her up out of hand there. That thing started to sail out of her hand. That is curling a lot. And that is going to hit the wrong side. Jam and collide. And nothing left to play. But Einarson is now sitting shot. A chance here to sit 2. That rock was visibly starting to curl out of her hand. Could have been a little bit down weight as well. And absolutely hit that on the wrong side. So now the question is, where can you hit this stone so that you can't leave a double and a force? And I think the answer is if you can just hit and stick right there, the double is very difficult. Here's Kerri's first. Looking for a hit and stick. Joanne working this one hard. This is moving, and it's going to roll a little bit. Just touch shot stone on the way by. We're going to take a look at this angle here. Can you even double these off? You look at where those two reds are pointed. And it's very possible that it might go underneath the yellow. You just kind of draw a straight line between the two reds. You see where it would go. It very well may squish on the red, or on the yellow rather. Yeah, that's lined up pretty good for Kerri. That's a very fortunate roll. They may have to play it the other way. That was not the call to roll exactly there. They may have seen it in the back of their mind. But they're going to have to play this kind of between the two, kind of hit the top stone first on the center line side, and then just sort of wheel and gear away, go out the side door. But even that still, there's a jam opportunity. That yellow in the back. Big shot here for Myla Plett. Doesn't want to give up another two. Needs to be delicate with this one. Needs to be forceful with this one. Just got to be right on. Not a lot of margin of error for this one. Myla Plett's final stone, a little bit of a wobble. Nothing from the sweepers yet. This one's not moving quite yet. Does she have it? 1, 2. And look at that. What a beautiful shot by Myla Plett, making the double the hard way. And now Kerri's going to take a look at this one on the side here. There's a chance for two still, but it's going to be much more difficult. Kerri needs to hit and stick and have her red stone stay in the back. So you can't overthrow this one too much. You can't hit it too high. You got to play this quiet. This would be a wonderful shot if made. Chance for two here for Kerri. Needs to at least get rid of shot stone here. Final stone. Joanne Courtney on and off, on and off. There's 1, 2. Does it stick around? Oh! She's got the one for sure. And they're going to kick it away. It's presumptively a single for Kerri. We'll confirm after the break, going into the 8th end.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Join us this March for the House of Hearts Charity Bonspiel in Duluth, Minnesota. Help raise funds for Project Joy, who provides meals for hungry kids in our community. Every donation helps to ensure no child goes hungry. Join us and make a difference. Together, we
And we're coming home here in the 8th end of this quarterfinal matchup in the Saville Grand Prix, presented by Curling Stadium. I am Matt Sussman, bringing the play-by-play action in this 8th end. We had a very, very, very momentous couple of shots there in the 7th. Myla Plett making a wonderful thin double. Kerri Einarson was just centimeters away from possibly scoring 2, but shot, thrown rock just rolling out of the house, settling for the single, taking a 5-3 advantage. That 5-3 score, fresh in the minds of both teams. It was actually yesterday Myla Plett winning 5-3. So this is 5-3 the other way. So if Einarson were to somehow force a blank or run Myla out of stones, they would always be 5-3 scores. However, Plet with hammer, needing a 2 to tie, 3 to win. So rock in the house. Rock on the center line by Kristen Karwacki. Corner guard up. This young team, Team Plet from here in Edmonton. Some of the teammates still in their teenage years. Which is about as long as some of these competitors on Team Einarson have played. So the disparity in experience doesn't necessarily mean a difference in ability. This has been a very close game. Einarson slightly in control ever since that second end when put a big 3-point up on the board. Chance for 4 even. Good freeze attempt there by Ali Iskew to see if they can get a 2 out of this. Joanne Courtney's freeze attempt rather, just gets by the guard, little bit light. Settles in top 12. No worries. Chloe Fadouk will try to clear the front a little bit. Those rocks are not helping them at all. Winner of this game will move on to the semifinal later today. Against the winner of Team Laws versus Team Kim. That other game is Laws up 5-2 against Kim in the 7th. It's a attempt to move those stones around. They do remove a red, leave their shooter up top, and they kind of unlock that freeze a little bit. They wanted a little bit more angle on that shot. Center line is still pretty much plugged up. And those semifinal games will start right after these are over. Those will be at 12:30 local time. That's 2:30 p.m. Eastern. And yes, of course, Curling Stadium will be covering for you. So Joanne Courtney covers up the 2 stones on the button. Myla Plett has 1 yellow in the house, completely surrounded by red. Interesting call here for Chloe Fadouk. They're going to play some quiet wait and see if they can move these around and roll under the corner. These quiet wait shots have been a little difficult for him. Sweeper's picking this one up right away, working really hard. Here comes that guard. They're going to actually hit the yellow. And where does this roll? Where is it going to roll? Where is it going to roll? Is it going to stay in play? You need anything in play, and it looks like it just hangs on, possibly. That is not the rock they intended to hit. They did clear the front, though. They do have 2 corner guards. More rocks to play, though, both teams. And the overhead camera, thank you, James, does make it look like that is hanging on the side. May come into play. A short run here for Val Sweeting. My favorite type of run, both in curling and in running. Chance to sit a few here. Joanne's bringing this down, does clear the yellow, and spills a couple of their rocks under that corner guard, and they are now sitting, looks like 4. This house is getting very, very cluttered. Not a whole lot of ways in. Alyssa Nedowan's going to be asked to try to split that port there. See if she can maybe freeze down, maybe bump that red a little bit. They get through the guard. They're past the yellow. They're past the red. They are through, and they are going to bump that red. Is that going to go out? They really need that to go out. And it's not out. But good shot all the same by Alyssa Nedowin. They are now shot for the moment, but it is open. Chance to get through the hole here for Val Sweeting. Just needs to hit and roll this away. Here's Val Sweeting's last. She's had a nice game. Joanne on the brush. Can she get it past? No, it's a little bit inside. Crashes a guard. Does open it up. This might be the opportunity. She needs 2 to force an extra end. The call here is to go split the house. Around the other corner. They've had this very similar shot all game. There's Alyssa Nedowin's last rock. Sweepers pounding it hard out of hand. Should be around pretty good. Just needs to bury it in. Oh, that's a really good shot. It's chaseable though, but they are sitting the 2. Splitting both sides of the 4-foot. 8-foot biting the 4. Now, if you're Kerri Einarson, you don't want to give up the 3. How do you prevent the 3? You're probably okay with the 2, worst case. And one of those is open, so it's certainly an option to try to get rid of the open yellow. Problem with that is you can't really roll anywhere that helps you, so you'd probably just have to pick it out. If you try to chase the yellow one, you then run into the risk of bringing 3 into play. A couple nice shots from Alyssa Nedowin, really saving this end when it's looking like they had nothing going for it. Think about that little heavy draw on her first, and then the come around the corner for a second. So you may want to play that open stone. It's just really difficult to get rid of. It could clip the red rock just biting the 8, or it could also just completely jam on that biter, that red biter. That's the one you want to hit. I think she keeps coming back to that one. Would love to hit it somewhere. If you could ever hit it a little bit on the away from the center line side, maybe push it out that way. But again, you don't want to risk taking one of your own red rocks out, and then all of a sudden that yellow biter could come into play. So I think after all of that, Kerri is going to try and chase the one under the corner guard. Looked like backline weight was the weight choice here. I don't think Kerri expected a difficult shot at this point, given how the end was going, but if she can bump this yellow back, her stone might also roll under cover, which would be a big plus. So here we go after all the discussion. Looking for backline weight. Chasing shot stone. Kristen carving it over. Can she get it past? It's past the guard. Makes contact, and it does roll. And that's going to roll largely under cover. Sitting the one. Good result there. And now Einarson is sitting first and third. So now the tables turn. Plet looking at possibly the red run, which is great if you make it. And we're going to bring Coach David Nedowin out. Talk this one over. A good result by Kerri. Needed that one badly. There's really not a lot you can do with that red stone. Freeze doesn't help you too much. She freezes back and you're dead in the water. In the long run, if you were to double them both off, I'm not quite sure what happens to the stone in the top 12 currently. If that skates through, squishes on one of the other reds. Not a lot of other choices, though. But they are going to play the freeze. Been talked into it. I will leave Kerri with a freeze back. But if the freeze isn't made perfectly, there could be some type of angle where a shot for two or more is possible. And obviously if you try the run and you miss it entirely, then you're really out of it. This may have been a call from the coach to get the team together and try this freeze. So here we go. Myla Plett's first. Sweepers like it. Not working too hard. They're going. Managing it all the way. Now they're finishing it hard. Starting to grind. And it's not shot stone. But it is in a pretty good spot. I think that was the advantage of that shot. You didn't need to be frozen to it. And maybe that's what they were trying to do anyways. It's a setup shot. You can't score the 2 with this rock. Yeah, so now if you're Einarson, you freeze on that. Plet might have a shot still to score 2. Still a really, really good shot. Really, really interesting end here. Probably one of the most intricate ones we've seen this game. Winner of this game advances to the semifinals in a couple of hours here. Playing the winner of Caitlin Laws versus Eunjun Kim. Kerri thinking of perhaps making a play on that yellow side of the 8-foot back tee line. And if you rip it, what do they do? You don't want to give up the 3 either. Really interesting situation here. I don't know if they've made a decision quite yet. No matter what they do, they're going to leave Myla something for a tie. So they are going to play on the open stone. And I think what they'd love to do is roll right there. Don't think they want to move that red much. And even though it looks like you're leaving a pocket there, I don't know how 2 would be possible. If this one sits back button, and you've got 2 reds. You want to be careful. You don't want to lose your own red. All the discussion does seem to be around where to play that stone. How hard to hit it? Where does it go? And it is risky because you are playing it in such a way that you're going to lose that red. Splitting the 12 and 8. Discussion still happening. I'm sure you all have a shot in your head. If you were in this situation, what would you do? Both, what would you do if you were Kerri Einarson, and both, what would you do if it was you personally throwing the shot? And I'm sure those are two different answers. So after all that deliberation, I now think that they are going to play perhaps a guard? No more talk. Time for action. Here is Kerri's last rock of the 8th end, trying to prevent a score of 2. This may just be a straight guard. This one's coming in the house a little bit. Can they freeze on it? Here we go. That will finish in the top 8, blocking off the ability to promote it. Now, what does that leave Myla? Myla's sitting first, or rather second and third. Second and third. Is there a pick opportunity? I think they're looking at a couple different opportunities here. The team's going to bring the coach back out for another confab. Team Plet needs 2 to tie. Is there a shot for 3 and the win? Don't see a realistic shot for 3. A few different options here. I think there might be an opportunity to, you could pick the red. If she can throw and get a piece of that red, looks like there's just a sliver, and she might see it from the hack. Pretty good. That'd be worth 2 points. If there's any possibility to throw quieter weight and hit and stick, and she could get the 3 out of it, that might be her best chance. All things being said, this has been a remarkable showing for this young team, playing a 4-time national champion, both yesterday and today. I think she's going to try to thread the needle here. She's going to need to be close to the yellow, close to the red. She needs to push that shot stone at least out of the 4-foot. This is going to have to be well managed by everyone here. There is an opportunity for this to be worth 3 points. If she does that, she would take the win and move on to the semifinals. Big shot here. Last rock from Myla Plett here in the 8th. Needs to thread the needle. Nothing yet from the sweepers. There they go. Are they past the yellow? Yes. Are they past the red? Yes. They make contact. And they got it. They got the 2 points. And that'll be enough to force an extra end. We'll be right back after this break.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
And we're back here at the Saville Grand Prix. Quarterfinal game between Kerri Einarson and Myla Plett. And Myla Plett forcing this into an extra end with a beautiful, immaculate, quiet weight tap to score 2 points. Now with Einarson taking last rock into the extra end, she's going to want to make this as simple as possible. Center guard goes up. Kristen Karwacki draws around. Very good shot by Kristen. Ali Iskew now will try to freeze. And they're going to need more than that if they want to take this game. Everyone coming out to help now. Need this one over. This one's starting to stop. Is it going to get over? Is it going to get over? It will not. Hogged rock. Unfortunate. Kerri, unable to take the center out, will draw around herself. We've been blessed with a really good game here by both teams. I don't expect anything less for this to go to an extra end. So Karwacki's second shot is going to be a little heavy, does bounce off. But now Chloe Fadouk is going to try to throw that one guard that was hogged earlier. Needs this one high up, doesn't want it too deep. It's a very difficult shot to throw. Got to be precise here. Sweepers are not touching it. Should settle in nicely. A little deep. Gonna take a go at it, see if they can get them both. Double peel here would certainly improve the winning percentage for Team Einarson and move on to the semifinal. Nothing yet from the sweepers. But 1, 2, they got it. Double peel made by Joanne Courtney. Leaves a corner guard and nothing else other than the two in the house. Speaking of who they're going to play, Minjun Kim and Caitlin Laws are tied in the 8th, and Kim scored 3 in the 7th. So that's a 5-5 game with Laws hammer in the 8th. So at this point, Myla Plett just needs to stay cool, calm, collected. Place these guards. The guards will then be ripped. I'm going to find somewhere, somehow, to force a steal. It's a tall order. Might even consider throwing a guard on the other side, where makes it difficult to get rid of and possibly crash into one of the reds. Peel's made here. As I mentioned before, these two teams have played twice before, both this season, and Plet winning both games 5-3. So while this will not be a 5-3 victory, this young team certainly has impressed. Chances for victory a little bit more difficult this time as they continue to throw guards out there. Gonna need a miss somehow. House reading doesn't miss these though. So we're down to 6 rocks, 3 each. Maybe time to start making some type of play in the house. Might throw one more. Center guard. May want to put this in a different spot, potentially. Alyssa Nedowin's last rock. Of the esteemed Nedowin curling family in Alberta. And that settles in right where many of other lane. Similar shot here for Val. And that one it did the job, didn't remove the rock, but it's still far out of play. Now it's time for skip stones. Not a lot of room to curl around any of that. Your options are limited and you are desperate for something. Not sure what the call is here. She's calling for another guard. If you look overhead, is there a space to draw around those two reds? And if there's space to draw around, then maybe the guard is the call. They are going to call Coach Nedouin down to the far side of the sheet and talk it over. Myla's first thought is to throw a guard. More on the center line this time. Drawing around is going to be very difficult because you're going to have to be back four, full four. How do you get around it? It's Kristen's first rock that's just mostly in the four. I think that's making that shot really difficult. You almost may want to hit that red stone and just bump it back into the back eight, and then you've got something to freeze on. Obviously, the steal is going to be very, very difficult, but you need those rocks to help you somehow. They're just not in a very good spot for you to draw around. And you could draw around, be half covered, back button, back four. That may be what Myla's thinking. Looks like a call here is to freeze into the pocket. I think no matter where this one finishes, Kerri's main objective is going to try to make it disappear no matter where it is. So the call here, freeze into the pocket. Here's Myla Plett's first, needing a steal, needing to set up a steal here with her first of two stones. Needs the perfect angle here. Looks like it's going to bump a little bit. That's just going to freeze right onto shot stone. Hard to tell if it's second or third shot. My guess is third shot. Pretty well frozen there. Going to be really difficult to remove. So how does Kerri Einarson prevent a steal opportunity is the question. I saw Joanne, looks like she signaled you could unlock the yellow, move your red back a foot or so. Seem to like tapping up one of those. Still a really good situation for Team Einarson. Not a lot of places that Myla can hide with her second. Plus, if she does draw around, then that yellow-red's lined up to be easily promotable. But I think the call here is to tap up and make it better. I think they chose the outside stone. Here's Kerri's first. Kristen and Joanne working this one really hard. Are they going to get there? It's coming up light. Are they going to get any touch on it? That's going to cover that yellow-red combo a little bit. I don't think that was the call. They didn't want to guard. I think they wanted to bump that up a little bit. Now, that rock is covering the button a little bit. So there is a chance here for Myla to potentially just do a straight draw and be back button. And that would leave Kerri a fairly simple promote. Now, they already called their coach out once. Normally, on the World Curling Tour, there are not timeouts and coaches, but this year they are allowing those. Einarson's team does not travel with a coach. Normally, they'll have a coach for provincials and national and international championships, but in this case, it's just those four. These games are not timed, as we are approaching nearly 3 hours for this extra end game. A lot of deliberation, especially in the 8th end, and especially this extra end here. A lot of possibilities here. They're looking at maybe some type of... It's hard to tell if they're talking about what they could do or what Kerri could do. They're still out there discussing it. I think the reality of the situation is whatever you do, Kerri's going to have a shot to win. So, best advice that I, not an elite coach, could give is throw the shot that you're comfortable with, put it in the best spot you can, and we'll see what happens. I don't know if they can play off their yellow, as I don't think they'd get shot out of it, but they'd have to also remove 2 reds or get them out of the way. So I think what they're going with is they're going for a sort of similar double that Plet threw earlier in this game. Catch a piece of the yellow, roll, hit the red, push them all back, and then sit one under cover and let Kerri either make a short run or draw for the win. And they're coming back and talking it again. May not have liked it out of the hack. Yeah, this is when a young Skip's brain can start to go in overdrive. You start to think about all the possibilities, and it's really just a matter of pick a shot, believe in yourself, believe in that shot, and they have now changed it. It looks like they are now going to do the straight draw. See if they can get back button, back four. This is a very much simpler shot as well. And it's not going to be a guaranteed easy shot for Kerri here, but I think they're now settling on the draw. There we go. No going back now. Myla Plett's last rock. Needs full four. Make Kerri throw her last. Sweepers are on this. No worry about it. It's not curling a whole lot. Needs to curl. Is it going to curl? Needs full four. Is it going to get there? Is it going to get there? And it does get there for shot stone. It is mostly open though. So Kerri Einarson just needs to hit a piece of it. Beautiful weight by Myla there. Just didn't have the line. So she does make Kerri throw her last. And they've got to be, Team Plet has to be very, very happy with the result, no matter what happens here. There's Kerri Einarson's last rock. Just needs to make contact on this open yellow stone. And this looks pretty good. Brooms up. Nice shot, Kerri. And that one goes away. And that's going to be either 1 or 2 on the board for Kerri Einarson. But regardless of how many it is a victory over Myla Plett and this young U21 team. Their first ever victory against Myla Plett in 3 chances. So Kerri Einarson will move on to play Caitlin Laws in the semifinal starting in just about an hour. We thank you so much for watching this game. My name is Matt Sussman. Thank you to James, working the cameras and scores. It is a final 7-5. Thank you so much for watching here on Curling Stadium.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.